name is Kal-El. You are the only survivor of the planet Krypton. Even though you've been raised as a human being, you are not one of them.
Hey!
Join the club.
We're recording the podcast!
God damn it.
Shut up!
Good morning to you, whoever you are, because it is morning somewhere for December 20th, 2024. My name is Bernie Burns, sitting right over there. She's the last daughter of Salt Lake City. Ashley Burns. Say hi to Ashley.
It was destroyed when
We
the
have a
lake
huge
dried
update
up.
about Salt Lake City today. Hey, everybody. It's Friday, so don't expect anything too serious today.
Well, look, we've now entered officially, we're 5 days away from Christmas. We've officially entered the period of time in which you pour Baileys in your coffee. That's not optional. It's just something that you do.
Interesting you say you do that, because
One
you
does
do
that. I do that.
She made this face at me today. You won't be able to see the face.
But you can
I'll
hear
make
the
the
face.
noise
Okay.
that the face makes as she makes it. And then poured herself a nice big thing of Baileys from what was apparently 3 bottles of Baileys we have in our kitchen for some reason.
Well,
of varying levels of emptiness.
No. We have one that is waiting in the wings. That is a new unopened bottle. And we have 2 that are being finished. I don't know why we have 2 that are being finished. I suspect they are originally from different rooms, or they're from different parties. All right. They originally belonged to multiple people. So now we have the responsibility of finishing them off so that we can consolidate down to our one in the wings bottle of Baileys.
Hey, everybody.
It's a tough
Today's
job. Someone's gotta do
podcast
it.
is brought to you by Baileys. Now that you're getting our ask your doctor about Baileys. We had a big debate, and I said, this is old. We should just it's like a little bit at the bottom, Ashley.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And it is like cream. And I said, let's just get rid of this. It's got to be bad by this point. There's no expiration date on a bottle of booze. And she was like, no. You were very adamant that the Baileys was not going to be thrown away. And then I said, ooh, look, it contains milk. And then I read this other statement on it, which is consumption of alcohol may be dangerous to your health.
It might be.
No shit. Well, thanks for the very specific warning.
Well, look, they have to
Baileys
label
Irish
things
cream.
here as well, like don't drink this if you're pregnant. Also, if you're driving, there are a lot of things you have to put on it. We all know. It's fine.
So what is it? It's not just alcoholic milk. It's cream and what? Like they put vodka in it?
Ireland?
Yeah, they just put a little bit of Ireland in it.
Just a little bit of it's an Irish cream liqueur made of cream, cocoa, and Irish whiskey emulsified together with a vegetable oil.
I would not have gross. I would never have thought that it was whiskey in there. That makes sense. If it's an Irish cream, they put whiskey in it. So you could just make your own Irish cream at home.
And you know what? I tell you what, if you do that, report back with the results. I will not be trying again.
I do love, as an Irish person, I love that the term Irish means to add whiskey to things. An Irish coffee is a coffee with whiskey. Is there anything else that's like that? I can't think of anything. Like a German coffee isn't, or a Russian coffee isn't like coffee with vodka in it.
No, I assume
German coffee is
let's
coffee
see.
with beer.
I assume German coffee is very precisely done.
Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting how we've turned the entire heritage of my ancestors into just like add whiskey to it.
Or potatoes.
What's that?
Or potatoes. Add whiskey and potatoes and you're fine.
Irish whiskey is just whiskey with whiskey.
That's
it.
It's reductive.
Is Irish whiskey, does it have the E? The Scottish whiskey does not have the E. I think the Irish whiskey does have the E. Or is it just that American bourbon?
Well, if I look this up, just a quick Google does show an E existing in a lot of just searches for Irish whiskey.
Yeah, but you're
that
going
could
through
be-
your American computer over there.
I am, but yeah, so that could be anything. It could be that it's Americanized spelling. It could be that that's just what people search for, so that's how people spell it in the search results. It could be that that is the grand tradition.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of other things we need to do today. It is Friday, which means that we are opening the voting for this week's topic of the year, which is movie of the year. So we've got our
This
final
week's topic of the week of the year.
Topic of the week of the
Topic
year.
of the year of this week. Yes.
Correct. You nailed it. So we have official nominees for movie of the year.
Official.
Are you ready to hear them?
Wait, hold on. Nominees. Go.
We've got Dune Part 2.
That's a Patreon joke.
It is a Patreon joke, but people will get it.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine, Wicked, Furiosa.
Whoa. Sorry. This deserves reverence. These are the best
All right.
artistic endeavors on the silver screen of this year. What are the nominees?
The nominees are Dune, Part 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, Wicked, Furiosa.
Was Wicked? Good.
Yeah, what?
Yep.
No, I'm nominating that one.
Furiosa.
Inside Out 2,
Good.
and The Substance.
Oh, the substance. The audience put the substance in there.
Yes, there were a number of nominations for The Substance, but that also came from you as well, from your accolades, and also accolades. Because I do have to.
I did see it with my eyes, so it would be accolades.
Accolades. Furiosa and Inside Out 2 are nominated for a very specific reason. One, they're both great films, but also we are a reformed Furiosa podcast, and we're a reformed Inside Out 2 podcast. So those were locks. I did have to disqualify Argyle and RVB Restoration just to give the other ones a chance.
Oh, thank you for doing that. Thank you for eliminating both of those. One for humbleness and the other because it sucked. I hated every second of it. I would say I went back and tried to look like there must have been movies I liked this year, and I was not thinking about The Substance, even though I had just recently seen it. That would probably be top of my list for the year, not to influence the vote. I don't want to do that. But I'd say this year for me, it felt like a year of movies that I was very hyped to see and then was let down by them. I was very hyped about Furiosa. It wasn't a bad movie, but I was let down by it. I was very hyped about Civil War. Wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't what I expected. And I was also very hyped for the prequel to Quiet Place. And that just kind of was like, meh. Yeah.
Like it was fine. It just wasn't the grand slam you thought it would be.
Yeah. And so I would say
hoped it would be.
My list would be very short. The two best movies I saw this year were The Substance and honestly, The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I enjoyed it very much.
The movie
of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Yes.
We do have a couple of honorable mentions as well that got brought up a lot but didn't quite make the top of the list. And those include Alien Romulus, which I know that you enjoyed as well.
I did. I think it's fair to say now the last 20 minutes threw me off completely.
Transformers 1, which I also know you liked very much.
Thank you for reminding me of that. I did like that very much.
Civil War, and then actually there's a movie that hasn't really been on our radar that came up a lot that we should probably check out, and that's Challengers. It's I believe a tennis film with Zendaya.
Yeah, that's not tennis movies. I've seen a few tennis movies, including the one that Will Smith won the Oscar for, and then boxed Conor McGregor. I think.
I was thinking of the tennis movie that Vision was in a long time ago.
Paul Bettany was in what tennis movie was he in? That seems like a really prissy movie. Your description
with Kirsten Dunst, I think.
Yeah, not getting less prissy.
Hold on, let me look this up. Paul Bettany tennis movie.
Although even though I was disappointed by Civil War, I would nominate
Wimbledon. 2004.
How could we not have guessed that name? I would say that she was a standout performance in that movie in Civil War. She was really good in Civil War. Like I was like, where did this Kirsten Dunst come from? Yeah, I think I said that after I saw it. I was really surprised by it.
Look, we've seen Interview with a Vampire. She was always here.
No. But she's like, you got to see it because she's just like, Kirsten Dunst is suddenly like middle-aged and like gritty, and it's totally different than, Spider-Man or even Interview with a Vampire Kirsten Dunst.
No, you love
Didn't
to see
she win
it.
an Oscar for Vampire?
I'm not sure, did she?
No, she won like an Oscar when she was like 9 years old and was like giving an Oscar speech. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Am I crazy?
I'm looking this up. She has received 1 Academy Award.
No. You know what? I'm thinking of Anna Paquin for Piano. That's what I'm thinking of.
I can't believe you confuse your blondes.
Is she blonde, Anna Paquin?
Yeah. I mean, dirty blonde, dishwater blonde, sure.
I don't think of her as being blonde at all.
My kind of blonde.
If anything, just the gray streak is playing rogue. But yeah, that's the. It was weird to watch a child giving an Academy Award acceptance speech. Like, how do you let that happen? Just like go up there with an adult and say thank you very much and then leave. Yeah.
Well, look, that's a tough thing to follow, though. It's a tough thing to follow. You know what else is a tough thing to follow? But we need to discuss Superman. Specifically, Henry Cavill. So
yeah.
I loved Henry Cavill as Superman. I can't say I loved the movies; they were fine. But I've never been like the world's biggest Superman fan. I don't know a lot of the lore, but to me, he has just the perfect physicality for that role. He's got all the charm. He's amazing, right? So I love him.
More so than Christopher Reeve?
Well, I can't say that Christopher Reeve was #my Superman. Because I didn't watch those movies when I was little. I didn't really care about them when I was little. I was very much on the Batman train when I was a kid. You know, all the like
Adam
crazy,
West. Oh, you mean like Michael
like
Keaton?
Yeah, I mean like Michael Keaton, and from that point onward, where they're
Val
very
Kilmer's in there
yeah
somewhere.
they're very when his bat nips, and they're very crazy. Or was that Clooney?
No, that was
Kilmer.
that was Clooney. Clooney was the bat nips. Yeah.
Okay, but I loved all those like the Batman movies, and they're like crazy and zany and ridiculous, and that was great for me as a kid. But I was never really into the sort of Superman side of things. So these are probably the first Superman movies that I followed in any sort of way. And I thought Henry Cavill was great. I didn't know how this new guy was going to follow him, but the teaser is now out for the new Superman movie, and it looks good.
Yeah, it does. It looks good. I'm with you. I was never much of a Superman guy, and it's one of those things. It looks good to me, but I'm very conscious of not bandwagoning on things. Like, for instance, we're talking about best movies of the year. I loved Dune 2. I'm just not a Dune guy. You know what I mean? And it's like, I fully recognize that this is a great movie and it's one of the best movies of the year, but it's like not top of my list because I'm just not a Dune guy. Never been a Dune guy.
You know that, Bernie? He always struck me as kind of a Dune guy.
Yeah, I know. I always had that Dune vibe about me. Now I'm not going to bandwagon just when there's a good version of it.
Rebecca Ferguson is great.
You know they've greenlighted through like 4 seasons of Silo now?
They're filming seasons 3 and 4 back to back, and it will finish with season 4.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. But
2024.
I watched the teaser for Superman, and the cast looks fantastic. So in addition to, is it David Cornsweet as Superman, it's also...
You liked him as Clark Kent, you were saying. You liked him.
I did.
Yeah.
Looking at the teaser with his like sort of like mussed hair and him and like this kind of hunchy shoulders, like sort of poor posture going into the office building. I was like, oh my God, he's a great Clark
Somebody
Kent.
said he looked like the guy from the IT crowd.
He does look like the guy from the IT crowd.
Yeah.
He absolutely does. But then I was like, oh my God, it's the Beast. Oh God, what's his name?
Dude, I cannot get this guy's name to stick in my head. I know exactly who you're talking about.
I've looked his name up, and I always think of him as Beast, or I think of him as the guy from The Great or Warm Bodies.
Warm Bodies, right. He was also in that movie with Anya Taylor-Joy and Ray Fiennes about the kitchen or the dinner or the meal.
Oh, the menu?
The menu?
Nicholas Holt. Nicholas Holt is his name. But I have a similar thing.
The wait list, whatever it's called.
With the actress who's playing Lois Lane, because I saw her and I was just like, oh my God, it's Midge Maisel. So that's how I consume a lot of things, is if I don't know an actor, but I know a character, that's how they tend to get locked in for me.
How in the hell, Ashley, did we not finish watching The Marvelous Miss Maisel? Mrs. Maisel.
It's one of those things that's like on the list, but
we were so dedicated to that show for so long and then just didn't watch the last season.
But here's the thing, though, is now that it has been the last season, the urgency's kind of off because there's not like a new season coming up that we need to do homework for.
Yeah.
So it's there, it's on the list, but it doesn't have anything moving into the top, except now that I've seen her for 2 seconds on screen again as Lois. I want to go see more of her because she's so great.
Everyone in that movie, in that series, is great. I think the problem with that series was they kept like resetting her progress at the end of every season, and it was just like it didn't feel like it was a progression. I feel like she was always knocked back, and then we were watching the same part of her journey over and over again.
Well, maybe then we do need to watch the last season because if they, going into this knowing it's the last season, they have no reason to keep holding her back.
I think it has something that I really enjoy in series and long-running, narrative content. I think it has a time jump in it.
That's nice.
Like a big, not to spoil anything.
That's funsies.
Yeah.
Her name, by the way, is Rachel Brosnahan.
Yes.
So I just, like I said, I think of her as Midge Maisel. I'm like, I should remember her name because she's fantastic.
And she was great as the Beast. What are you talking about? Why did you come up with her name? What's it's not McAvoy.
His name is Nicholas Holt.
Nicholas Holt. That's right. Thank you. She was a wonderful Beast. I thought she was like. Really.
She looks so good in blue.
It's interesting too because at this point it's not a spoiler. There have been post-credit scene that have featured Kelsey Grammer as potentially the MCU Beast.
Yeah, although I suspect there's been, and we'll do a little bit of like, spoilers, potential spoilers. We don't know if they're actual spoilers, but potential spoilers talk for upcoming MCU stuff, because I'm seeing a lot of headlines coming out about things that may or may not be happening, is we could see Nicholas Holt as Beast. We could see Kelsey Grammer as Beast. We could see Chris Evans as 8 different Captain Americas. We've seen that Peggy Carter might be back. There's so many things flying around that I think they're but we know this is the multiverse saga, so they can bring in loads of characters. The most recent one I heard about was Michael B. Jordan could be coming back.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And maybe he's a variant where he is Black Panther. Who knows?
You are doing something, though, that I wish I could undo in my life. I wish I could unsubscribe to casting announcements for comic book movies specifically, or adaptations. I just wish I could unsubscribe to those, or sequels. It's more so sequels. Like I find out like somebody's coming back to a series or someone's not returning to a series that I like. And I'm like, I don't want to know this in a headline. I'd like to watch this in a series. I get there's a business behind this. I also wish just across the fucking board, I could unsubscribe to fake trailers for movies on YouTube. Why is this allowed that people can just make these fake trailers that sometimes get like 15 million goddamn views? And when I want to go watch it, like I went to go watch the 28 Years Later trailer, which just came out, and I had to slog through all the fake ones people have been making for the last 7 goddamn years.
So I've got a new strategy for that.
Go ahead.
And that is, so if I go on YouTube or something looking for trailers, I don't watch trailers from anyone but studios anymore.
Well, okay, that's fair, but sometimes you can't really tell because sometimes it comes like who released the Superman trailer from yesterday? What channel? No, it wasn't Warner Brothers.
Was it Warner Brothers? Let's see. This is Superman official teaser trailer. It's on the Warner Brothers Pictures International.
Okay, they might have had the one I saw was DC. Sorry, they might have released it in multiple places. Or like IGN or something like that. Even though IGN on April 1st is renowned for having fake trailers for like a Link movie or something. You know. Anyway, I just wish that would go away. I just hate it. And the weird thing is, I'm saying that, and I'm a total hypocrite because the most viewed video in the history of the Rooster Teeth channel across all the shows we ever made, the most viewed video on YouTube is a fake Angry Birds trailer.
Well, how does it feel to be part of the problem, Burns?
Huge part of the problem. Huge part of the problem.
You might have created the problem.
Nothing I can do about it now. No one I get it, nuke that. They should have before I walked out the door. I should have turned that thing off.
Just gone in and gone boop, private.
The ones now like try to pass themselves off as the actual trailer, like by putting in clips from other movies and anything like that. Anyway, I've ranted about this.
There are some things that are fun though. You did show me, as dangerous as things like AI can be, it has a lot of. I don't want to say upside is maybe a strong word, but one of the cool things that it can do is show you things that never have been and probably never will be.
Right.
You showed me like really interesting. They were like, here's a movie trailer, but in this style.
Panavision style and things like there's a whole, we linked it before.
Or like Technicolor,
channel.
Technicolor, Superman, whatever it is. It was just this very cool, like things that they're not going to make. They don't seem real. They're just like, what if?
Yeah.
And those can be kind of fun.
And the best part is, it only used the energy equivalent of Rhode Island to make that trailer for us to watch. That's the best part about it.
Look, let's take the Nestle approach. No one deserves water.
I don't know what they're called, but I have been fascinated. They show up in reels every now and then. They're like AI fever dreams. It's like the best representation for what my dreams look like. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a video of like a dog walking along, but all of a sudden the dog morphs into like a snake or something like that.
Yeah, or the entire background changes and it bleeds out a little bit and it's very strange. If you don't pay too close attention, it seems totally normal. The second you start like looking at the lines and the edges and the corners and the details, that's when you start noticing
or giving it your full
fingers,
attention.
Right?
Yeah, it's weird. There's one with like the actress who played Daenerys Targaryen. Nicholas Holt. And there's one with her where she's like skiing down a slope or something like that, and it changes into something else. And it's just like, I don't know what the genre is called, but I'm just fascinated by these things because it's like, this feels like what it is to like, you always want to say, I wish I could record my dreams and watch them. This is what they would look like, honestly.
Right. They would look wrong.
Yeah, like this is an AI making sense of it, and it makes no sense to anyone outside the context of that AI's brain or algorithm.
I once had a dream that I built a Lego castle and then had to defend it. And it was like a whole like castle-sized castle. And I can tell you right now that in the dream, it was totally awesome. It would make no sense.
No sense.
In any other medium except the dream.
Yeah. And then you have to think like in your dreams where like literally you'll be talking to someone and then they're just someone else all of a sudden. Like,
yes.
And it's like your brain's like, this is fine.
There's also a lot of shortcuts that your brain will take that's a lot of fun. I had a dream recently where we were in our house and then we were going to, we were like, well, we should use this playroom. It's on the other side of the garage, which apparently we had a garage. It was amazing. It was our house, but it wasn't our house. You know,
Yep.
it's like, but in the dream, this is our house.
Yep.
And even though it's not a house I've ever seen before in my life, and I opened the door, it had a fucking merry-go-round in it. And I was like, why aren't we using this playroom?
Nice.
Because it's on the other side of the garage. How
Merry-go-round.
inconvenient. It had a merry-go-round, it had a bowling alley.
Matt Hullum always had a dream that he wanted to have a house one day where he had a slide that left one of the upstairs bedrooms, and he would just slide out in the morning. I wonder if you ever did that.
My thing is still, I will know that I've made it in life when I have a fridge with a water and ice dispenser in the
I
door.
think about this all the time. At some point in your life, I'm going to get you that. I'm going to get you the fridge that has ice in the door. One day we'll make it.
One day.
You will get it.
And
You
I'll
will
be
get
like,
it.
I made it. I
Yeah.
made it.
Well, there's I feel for everyone who's out there right now because there's 5 days until Christmas. You have to, make good on all your gifts. We're doing pretty good. Like we've no shopping left, right? Is that fair to say?
No, not really. No, I think we're good. But what we have to do is we have a
great for you.
shopping marathon.
I did great for you. I went through, I had to give you part of your gift early. I had to. That was not by design. When I came back from the US, I found a way to pack ice packs and a cooler in my check bag. And I brought Ashley back ready to cook tortillas.
Which they're my favorite. They're tortillas. They come uncooked and you buy them. They're from HEB, the grocery store
Yes.
in Austin. And you cook them yourself on your, in a skillet or whatever. And they're so delicious. They're like the perfect thing, and I love them so much. I can't get anything remotely like that here. Thank you.
And the brand of the tortilla, if you're interested, is Nicholas Holt. I'm just kidding. The brand is actually the tortillas that played the Beast, I think. And then I brought her American cheese, which I'm not even sure is legal in this country.
Monterey Jack.
Like Colby Monterey Jack, the mixed one. I'm sure if we were having people try stuff here, and I think I was going to have them try the Colby Jack, and I think
You were
they would
not
just
sharing
think,
that with
that
me.
is like a block of wax, to them, like rubbery wax.
Very possibly, but I'm gonna shred it. I'm gonna put it on some of my cooked tortillas. I'm going to enjoy myself.
So I gave you all your nice refrigerated things, and the one that JD and Teddy were very skeptical of the entire time we were doing it was I brought you a pack of pre-made Toll House chocolate chip cookie dough.
Yes, you did.
Which that
That's
is
a
like
highlight.
That is like when you buy that, I know it's a stressful day for you. She buys like a sheet of pre-made cookie dough and then just eats it out of the package.
It makes like 24 cookies, but to be fair, they're teeny tiny cookies. But I will just eat the cookie dough. I wouldn't eat 24 cookies, but I will eat 24 cookies worth of cookie dough.
It is when you think about it, when you eat one of those little squares, you're eating a cookie.
I know.
It's the same amount. And if you ate like 6 cookies in one sitting, that would be wild. But you'll eat 6 of those little chunks like it's nothing. And then we gotta, take her out and have her dewormed. What is it about? I think
it's a salmonella risk.
From the flour, though, not from the eggs. No, I heard it's from the flour. That's the problem with everyone thinks it's the eggs, but it's not the eggs at the flour. I'll try to look this up. I'm talking.
Yeah, I always
off the top
assumed
of my
it was
head.
the eggs.
Yeah, but I heard it was something else just recently. It was like a misconception about why that's dangerous for you. Anyway.
Well, I mean, regardless, you shouldn't be eating raw cookie dough. Cookie dough, but we do it anyway. Cookie dough. We're having a cookie dough.
What I didn't bring you because I couldn't remember because it's like I like it a lot and JD likes it a lot, but I couldn't remember and I couldn't ask you before I came over. Eggnog. What's your stance on eggnog?
I make my own.
Yeah, you don't really care about eggnog.
I'm gonna just make my own eggnog.
Eggnog is very divisive.
In what way?
Divisive. Divisive. Some people really hate it. Some people really like it. I'm pro-nog.
You're very much pro-nog. In fact, if I make eggnog, I have to make twice as much as I actually want so that I might get some.
It tastes like calories, though. Like when you drink it, it feels like the densest, most amount of calories you could get in the
That tastes like an inch on the hips.
smallest amount of volume possible.
Well, it's also, have you seen Martha Stewart's eggnog recipe? It will put you on the floor.
Oh, yes. We had a house mother in college. We had a mother that lived with all these guys, and she would make us eggnog, and it was like don't light a match in that room. It was so much alcohol in it. That's the way older ladies make that stuff, man. Plus, she's hanging out with Snoop Dogg, man. She's got to keep up.
That's true. Maybe she makes it for him specifically. I'm going to read you how much alcohol is in her things.
While you're looking that
this?
up, I'll tell a quick story because we were on The Amazing Race.
Yep.
One of the people that worked with us on the production she had a previous job because they're all kind of connected where she worked on Survivor. And specifically her job on one of the seasons of Survivor was to ride the boat back with the people as they had been eliminated. And as like a kind of like psychological treat to, because when they get eliminated, it's very depressing when that happens. We felt that experience. They would get their whatever they wanted. Like when you get eliminated, you'll then get whatever food you want. And they could pick something. And one of the people, she said, just had a jar of peanut butter and they ate with their hand, ate an entire jar of peanut butter on the boat ride because they had just been like so calorie deprived. And it's like, yikes, but I get it.
I get it.
I know. I think about that a lot for some reason.
So here's Martha Stewart's eggnog recipe. So it involves 6 eggs, 3/4 cup of sugar, 2 cups of milk, 3 cups of cream. And now are you ready for the alcohol? A 1/2 cup bourbon, a 1/4 cup dark rum, and a 1/4 cup cognac.
It's also called Irish milk. All right, well, who will we be enjoying eggnog with this weekend, Ashley?
Our eggnog buddies today are AJ Huerter, Paladin Wiggles 2, and Texas FS7. Thank you all for sponsoring this episode of our show at patreon.com/morningsomewhere.
And please do not forget to vote for the movie of the year 2024, which they can do at
themorningsomewhere.com. We will have a poll. You will be able to vote on it. The nominees, just so you remember, are Dune Part 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, Wicked, Furiosa, Inside Out 2, and The Substance.
All right, and that does it for us this week, ending December 20th, 2024. We will be back to talk to you on Monday. We hope you all will be here as well.
Bye, everybody.